Three, two, one. Welcome everybody to Rolling on Three, the first podcast for all three-wheel owners, whether you're riding on a Ryker, Spider, Slingshot. This is the show for you. Today, I'd like to welcome my friend Sticky to the show.
Good
Sticky,
morning, everybody. Sorry.
that's all right. Sticky, New York, all the way from New York to Philly, and she's also known as Sticky Situations on Instagram. Sticky, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. I start the show with the same question. What are you rolling on?
Uh, Can-Am Ryker Rally
What do you
2019.
2019? Where'd you get it?
I got it in I believe it's somewhere up Jersey. They only sell jet skis. It's a Can-Am dealership. Uh, and they had it it was the only one left when I got it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's been
How
some
was the
time.
process on picking that up? Was it easy, hard?
It was hard because I wanted the specific color of the red. Well, it's more like an orangey, but they call it red. So the
Yeah.
fire red, I wanted that one. At that time when they first came out, there was options of getting different colors, but there was like a wait list. So I had to wait a couple weeks, and when they got the fire red plastics in, they put them on, and I was able to go pick it up.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you didn't
Mhm.
have to wait long.
Mm-mm.
All right. All right. So where you so the place you bought it from, it was far from your house or
It was far. I'm
yeah.
actually I'm in Philly now in the Northeast, and
Mhm.
it was about, I would say, an hour drive.
All right.
Hmm.
So tell me, you say you used to live in New York, now Philly.
Yes.
What was the move for?
Oh man, the cost of living. The cost of living, man. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Sunset Park. I've been all over New York. I came up here to Philly. I went to college up here.
Okay.
So I decided to take on some Christian college up here. It's called Eastern University, and in that process of being in college, I got an apartment to compensate, for the travels. So I was living in New York, and I got an apartment up here in Philly, actually over here in Mayfair. And I'm like, damn, like it was like four, like the rent was like 495.
Mm.
495 for a one bedroom.
Yeah,
Like
that's
you're from New York, so you know what a one bedroom costs right now.
yeah,
Even
about 3,200. So yeah,
right
you're doing pretty good.
with 3200 with the bathroom in the damn room, the kitchen next door, everything.
No, that's a fact,
So
man. The cost of living in New York is murderous. It's rough. So yeah, God bless you for landing on your feet something well, because
yes,
it's hard out here. It's
man,
hard.
I came over here, man, 16. I was actually 15, and then once I graduated from high school. Um, Last year, my senior year, I came here to Philly. When I went to college, I realized that the cost of living was so much cheaper. So I said, I'm staying. I decided to stay here. I know I couldn't have all of the things that I had here if I was in Brooklyn. I couldn't have a car, two jobs, an apartment, living
No,
a good life. I couldn't do that for myself in New York. So I ended up
no,
staying.
nope. You're 100% right. That's a great move. That's a great move.
I miss
So
it sometimes though.
yeah, yeah. Listen, so tell me a little bit about yourself. You said college. What? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I did go to college. I graduated with a bachelor's in
Congratulations.
behavioral health. Thank you. Um, Unfortunately, like I spent all this time in college, but I don't do anything in that field. Nothing at all. Nothing even close to that field. I would not expect to I would not expect to be doing this. About 8 years ago, after I graduated from college, I started a transportation company with my husband now. At that time, we were just friends. I got into cars. I really liked cars, and we started a business. So we
Okay.
started transporting, and we had it was like a little dually with a three car carrier, a little little putt putt. Everybody starts somewhere,
You
and
gotta
then
start somewhere.
hmm
It starts with a dream. You execute it, and then you arrive. So yes, 100%. Shout out to you and your husband for starting that little business and
thank you.
becoming successful. That's very important nowadays.
Yes,
Your own business is the way to go. I tell you,
yes. I
always.
always say that as well. I always say the way it's a key to be successful, in my opinion, and that's multiple sources of income, whether it may be a chump change, what they call it. Everything counts,
Yeah.
especially in today's world. Like everything counts. So we
Yes.
started off with that years ago, super successful. We end up having multiple trucks, um, and we're able to even get drivers. So
Wow.
now we have drivers out there driving trucks. I mean, it's really slow right now. Everything is kind of slow, and I started this as a hobby.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Look
after
at
I
you.
got the rally, I said, I really like this is free. This is freeing. I'm driving around, in Philly, and I'm like, dang, I like this. Got a lot of hate though. People were telling me that's not a real bike. Get a
Oh
real
yeah,
bike.
we'll get into the whole it's not a real bike when it came out to now everybody's pulling up on you going, "What is that? And where do I get one?"
Yes.
I
Good
know
luck trying to find
exactly.
one. So I started like, doing small little mods. I'm very hands on. That's why I never proceeded in the behavioral health field. You know,
Right.
I started getting hands on with the trucking, strapping
Mhm.
the cars, and we would like race to pick up cars, and I started driving all different kinds of cars, and I'm like, wow, like this is so much fun. Like it's almost like I got a new car every day, but it's not mine. I gotta give it back, but it's fun. I got to drive in everything.
Nah, that's what's up. Did you ride motorcycles before?
No, not before the Riker. No,
Oh, okay. So that's
but
your
he
first
did.
time. Oh,
He
okay.
did. My husband did. And we were just cool at that time. We were just friends. So he put me deep with the whole bike life community.
Okay.
When I saw him riding, he had a 600. He had
Mm.
a little 600, and I was intrigued. I'm like, that looks fun. Like I want to ride it, but I'm scared to death. So we were like, let's get something safe. Boom, the rally comes out. Automatic, three wheels. You To me, I felt it was like the safest at that time. I didn't even have my license yet,
Oh, okay.
and I took that thing. I went up to, I think, Buffalo.
Wow. You put it
The
miles on it.
first time I got it,
That's a miles.
I was so comfortable on it, and I would say if I had my helmet on, and I'm thinking like I had gloves and the whole suit, like boots up to my kneecaps. I'm thinking that's
Listen, there's nothing wrong with overprotecting, right? It's you dress for the slide, not the ride. All right. So, nothing wrong
so
with that. Nothing wrong with
yeah.
that.
So I got a lot of looks, and some people were like, "What is that even? Like, what is that?" So boom, I'm on the Riker. I loved it. It was fast. It was fun. It was safe. So I'm like, I need a little bit more. I went and I got my motorcycle license. I got a little Grom.
Hey, they're very popular. Those are very, very popular and fun to ride. It's crazy.
Super
Yeah.
fun. Little 125. I think they're 125 cc's.
Yeah.
Little Grom, and I'm on two wheels, and I'm feeling like, I'm that girl.
That's pretty cool. That's an
Can't
interesting
tell me
story.
nothing.
That's an interesting story. Uh, are you mostly riding solo group with your husband? Like when you go out,
No,
what you doing?
I don't do ride outs. I've never did a ride out on a Riker, only
Okay.
because I was not even aware that there was an enormous community out there of
That's
Rikers.
crazy.
Yeah,
Especially in Philly,
I'm
it's so
thinking I'm
big.
the only one. And not a lot of people that do have Rikers here in Philly are much, in the older category. So, and I'm not as young as I look, but I was more with the down like the dirt bikes and
Mm,
four wheelers
mm,
and the banshees and
yeah, all the stuff that we can't ride in New York.
yeah,
Yeah,
illegal.
yeah, it's illegal. Yeah, yeah. I
So
get it.
I know those ride outs mostly always turn out crazy.
Yeah, they are. I
So
watch a
I've
lot of
never
that.
did, when I do go on my rides, I would do it by myself. I put my little music on, my little gear, and I'm solo. and I done had like so many different kinds of bikes. Um, I had scooters, but my favorite I think would have to be, I don't know, I had a 250, a supermoto.
Oh, supermoto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was my first build.
No way.
Yes, my
No
first
way.
build. Yep, I had a CRF 250O. I bought it. I was on two wheels. I was tippy toeing. It was so big. I'm like, who, why?
You gotta lean, get off,
It was
lean back.
crazy. Even on the ground, I'm tippy toeing. I'm 5 feet even. And I'm tippy toeing. I'm like, I don't really like this. I like being comfortable. I like driving on the Ryker where it's just like you're not worried. I mean, it's a little, to me, it was a little bulky in traffic because you
Well,
get,
yeah, you don't buy the Riker to be a speed
no,
demon or to
it's for
tip
the
it out.
cruise,
Yeah,
right?
it's a cruise. It's a
Yeah.
different state of mind. I mean, you can have a whole ton of fun, but your
Hmm.
mindset is different. I was a rider back in the long time ago in the
Oh yeah.
1900s. In the 1900s, right? Because I'm an old man now, right?
Uh-uh.
So I was riding before cell phones and you know like if you wanted
Stop.
somebody to film you, they had to bring out a camcorder and put a big tape. So I rode on and off
You
for
fool.
many years. After a few times of laying on the ground, or like, why do I keep doing this? Then I shelved it, and then I say, I dabbled back. I was like, I'm a ride. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. And then it just collected dust and dust. And then I was like, and then the Spider came out in 2009 or 8, and I was like, wow, I should get one of those. And I was like, it's 30 grand. And I was like, I could get back on a two wheel. And I didn't think nothing about riding. And then
Hmm.
it was actually one of my friends who was like, hey, man, you still into three wheelers? I was like, yeah, He's like, did you see the Ryker? I was like, the hell is a Ryker? And that's when I looked it up. I said, holy shit. And I called the dealer.
It's cool,
You
right?
got any? No, there's a waiting list. You want to get on the waiting list? I was like, shit. All right, forget it. I get on the waiting list. And then they called me and said, look, your number's up. You got 2 hours to get here and put a deposit. So I was like, all right, I'll be there. And then from there it went to, then COVID hit and this thing sat
So
out
what
there.
what what year did you get?
I got to 19. I was
Okay.
actually my list. I think I got the number 1002 in production. Like I was
I don't
actually
remember.
waiting.
I'm trying to think if I had a number. I'm not
Like New
sure.
York, we really had to wait for them. It was like a waiting list. Like it was,
Oh yeah, I don't know how it works over there.
man,
Dang.
we couldn't get them. So it just sat, COVID hit, just sat and just sat. And I was like, shit, man, I want to have some fun. And then I decided to go outside and nobody was outside. So I took my cell phone and made the crappiest YouTube video known to man with my cell phone. And people actually liked it. And I was like, what is this? Like I had a YouTube channel like a million years ago. And then I was like, all right, I'll upload it. And then it turned into this, that, and the other thing. And
I did a vlog. When I did a vlog going to pick it up too. It's on my YouTube channel. You gotta
there
see
you
it. It's so
go. There
funny.
you go. That's
It's
how it
super
starts.
choppy too. I
It,
got on it. I'm telling you, full face. I had the drone. I had a
there
drone
you go.
following me,
You
and
know
I'm
what I
taking it
found
to the
out
max.
though? When it comes to YouTube videos, and I can make a video on my cell phone. I'll use my GoPro. I'll use my $500 camera. I'll do this, that, and that. Nobody will watch that. You know what they watch? Just me holding a GoPro, shaking all over the place. No one cares. The video I put the most production in, my most hard on work. I said, all right, I'm gonna do 3 camera angles, and I'm gonna merge this in, and I'm gonna Premiere Pro, and I'm gonna cinematic. No one watched it.
Did the most.
The one I just took the GoPro and said, hey fellas, gets the most views. So you know what? Now I
Same.
gave up on all that fancy stuff.
Mhm.
And now it's just like I have like 5 different mounts on my bike. My bike looks like a movie premiere, right? So I have 5 different mounts and I just clip on GoPros. One GoPro, I just clip, clip, clip. And I go out there and I make videos, or I'll just stick it down somewhere and talk to people. So it's just, I don't know. I can't explain YouTube. I'll never understand why I'm here. Trust me. To this day, when people The first shock I ever got was when I went to a meetup and somebody been like, "I've been watching you for years," and I was like,
What? Oh
"Years," and I was like,
my
"Holy cow, you're right! It's been since 2019. We're in 23 now, so you're right. It's been years. It's just so weird to me, like when people, I went to Italy and I did the world largest. It's the world's largest bike expo. It's in Milan, Italy, right? It's it's got to be about 30 miles worth of bikes. It's an indoor place. It's where they had the Olympics.
oh
And it's
my.
humongous. Like every country in the world goes, every bike manufacturer you could think of, except for Can-Am, which was very weird. But everybody was there, whether they were a big company or small company.
Mm-hmm.
And, so many different countries. And it's this one country, I can't remember the name, but they all knew me from that country. Like they were like, "Oh, we watch you," and I was like, out of all, it was a small country, but it's very big on Can-Am, and they were all talking about how they watch me. I could not remember the country he told me he was from
Listen,
for the life of me, but
I don't doubt it.
I know somewhere in Eastern Europe I'm famous. I know
That's
that more
amazing.
famous than I am in New York.
Well, listen, like I said, I just start realizing how enormous the Riker community
Oh
is
yeah, yeah.
everywhere. Okay. I'm thinking like I'm the oddball with this machine. Okay. And when I started doing these kits and I see that there's people from everywhere, and then when you did the stream and I got on and I'm like, look, is this person on? This person on? Everybody's on. Like I know everybody who's on there. I'm like, how come I'm late to this? Like,
Yeah, I
don't
don't know.
everybody knows
I
about
don't
you.
I don't know
Everybody knows
why they
about
didn't
you.
put you on to me early, but that's neither here nor there. Hey,
But I'm
listen,
like, who's gatekeeping that's not putting me deep with and
they could
everybody's on here winning stuff. Like, why am I just finding out about this? Like,
listen,
but
man.
I seen everybody on your stream. So no, you'd be surprised. Like,
Yeah,
and I
you'll
started
be.
looking at the videos and I think they're great. That
Thank you.
one video of the guy Sam
Oh yeah, Sam Nemi.
did an amazing job.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It was good
What did you
meeting him.
record with?
Oh, so that I used the GoPro, but
Really?
yeah, I just mess with the I mess with the ICO and the settings and stuff like that. Yeah, the
You would
Sam
think you
Nemi.
had
It
a
was a
whole it was a good one.
Well,
That was really good.
that was actually that interview with him. That was actually his work garage.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
his
this is
work.
your space right here?
No, this is my space, but actually that was in Miami. So they flew me to Miami to interview him, and he's uber rich. Like where we were sitting at was just his work garage. You could probably fit about
Mm,
15 cars in there. He builds bikes. He custom builds because he's a racer, right? So he does
okay.
his garage. His work garage is like a full mechanic shop.
Okay.
That's not where he parks his cars. He had a house and another garage where he parked his car. Like when his
But I'm saying like you knew what you were doing. Like who told him to go on the bike like this? Wait,
well,
like some kind of magazine, like sir, with
well,
his shirt on, excuse me.
well, he's a professional. He's been interviewed for years. I think he was on it. He had his own show at one time on the Travel Channel. So no, he's a professional. He made me look good. But yeah, that was a nice time. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He owns all the dealerships in Florida, so he's like he's killing it.
Well,
But
I'm a huge fan. I've only literally known you for a week. Not even known you, never met you in person, but so
nobody meets
far
me in
the
person.
energy, like the vibe, I love it.
Well,
I mean,
I
people speak
appreciate that.
super highly of you. I have not heard no
Appreciate that.
negative stuff. Everybody's like, "Yeah, that's the guy." Like he is, he's the so I'm feel almost like grateful. I feel blessed to
I
have met you.
appreciate. No,
So,
I totally appreciate it. Thank you for the blessings. I saw you, and actually, it's a good segue into what you do. So, for all you guys that are listening, I'm gonna probably just pull up one or two of her designs, but Sticky designs custom wraps, and that's her business now, Sticky Situations. And what happened was somebody posted I seen you did a rap for someone in Philly. They posted. I was like, "What the hell?" I said, "The thing goes in the dark." I said, "Who is this person? And how come I don't know about this person?"
You
And I'm
awesome.
going all around. It was like, "Yeah, Sticky, she's new in the game." I was like, "Well, who is it? Somebody get me in touch with her so I can find out what's going on. Like, I want to be in the know." And I saw this rap. I was like, "Holy shit!" And then my man, Chris from a Three Wheel King. Shout out to my boy Three Wheel King. Was like, "Nah, I'm gonna hook you up, man. You're gonna meet her." And I was like, "Yo, it was great." And I look at her designs and off the chain. So let's talk about that. How
Let's
did
do
the
it.
whole thing start? Like,
Okay, the whole thing started. First of all, I've only been doing this for it's going on a month. That's it, 1 month. I went into it with my eyes closed, but I've been installing like when I started like work like putting hands on bikes, I was
right,
like in love with like just bikes, putting spokes, customizing them, handlebars, changing this, anything and everything that has nothing to do with motor or engine work. I'm the guy. So a lot of people were like, "Hey, can you install like cuz I was doing upholstery like seat covers and stuff,
okay,
you know?" So for the bikes only. So, a lot of people were coming in with messed up bikes and wanting them to be restored. I would go ahead and restore the seats and people were like, "Hey, you think you can put these decals on for me and make the bike look like it came out the dealer?" And I'm like, "I guess. I guess I
right,
can." So
right,
I'm starting to like install kits now. People
okay,
are coming to me with their kits and saying, "Can you put this on here?" And I'm like, "If all I got to do is just paste them, okay, I got you." So
right,
I started like I was in school at that time. I went to school for I went into Hackensack, New Jersey. I went to school. It was like a bundle thing. It was for vinyl wrapping cars and trucks, detailing tint, and uh putting like the starry lights in the. It was a little bit of everything. So I picked up
okay.
this program and I went
Mhm.
in there and they were showing you how to do the vinyl on the cars. And I'm like, ooh, I like this. Like this is so much fun. I'm so hands on and I love this.
Right,
As soon as I got out of there, I started buying vinyl and wrapping the bikes with vinyl. I had no idea about the graphic designing and graphics. Like why I'm coming I'm people not telling me nothing. So I'm learning by myself. And people were like, "Can you install this?" So, I've dealt with a lot of good graphic designers and a lot of not so good. So I would have to call the graphic designers and say, "Hey, um, unfortunately, you printed out the double of the same thing. It's backwards. So I'm gonna need this for this customer that I'm installing. Can you give me this and what's the turnaround time?" And it was just such a big deal being the middleman between the customer and the graphic designer to get these kits right. It was such a headache that I said, "You know what? I think I'm gonna just stop being the middleman and just do everything myself."
Okay, okay. So now that you're doing everything yourself, which is great, cut out the middleman. Um, so how does like the process start? The start to finish. Break it down to me. Somebody comes in and says, "Hey, can you make my design?" Is it you go with the customer? You throw your own input, the inspiration. Just like break it down.
So normally, right now, my the main way to contact me is literally by calling me or just getting onto the DMs. I haven't, like we talked about before, my social networking is not really large at this point.
Right.
Like I said, I'm just starting
We're gonna
into.
change that. We're gonna change that.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I heard that you're the man. You work magic.
I've made a few people
so
famous.
so I'm excited about I'm excited about that. So I um I go into the DMs and people are like, "Hey, I would like to get a kit," and I'm like, "Sure. What's the make, model, and year?" And they'll give me the make, model, year. I'll make sure that I can purchase a template for that bike, and then I'm like, "Okay, talk to me. Let's get some details. What colors we want? What colors we don't want? Do you want any pictures, phrases, dates, uh logos? What do you need on it?" They'll give me like a list. I have like a list of questions. I just send the customer.
Oh,
They'll
okay.
answer the questions and then I say, "Okay, I'll be right back with a mock-up." So I'll take my time and get all the information and put everything together and I say, "What do you think about this?" And they're like, "I love it. Confirm, print." Or if not, they're like, I really want to change this picture and put this." And I'm like, "All right." So, there's some customers that with one or two tries, we got something, we got the design, we're ready to print, they're ready. There's some customers that we're like, do
Mm,
you or do you not like this? No, I don't like this. Okay, so what would you like? Like, you need to help me here. But they're like, I don't like that, but you figure it out. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like trying to create designs, and I'm like, how about this one? Mm-mm. How about this one? Mm-mm. And I'm like, okay, well, we got to move on here. So, but it's literally just like quick steps. And then I'm like,
right.
all right, send in your deposit, and then you're on the list. So I have like a whiteboard in my office,
Okay.
and it goes by the list. I don't do like no buddy system of like, I know you, so you're getting in first, and I'm forgetting about my customer that just made a deposit. Mm-mm. So I go by the list, and when it's their turn, even if I have the design ready, I'm like, all right, listen, you're up next. You bringing me the bike? Am I shipping this? What we doing? They're ready with the
Mm,
bike. They bring me the bikes, and I install.
okay.
I print and
That's
install, and
you.
then they're ready to pick up right away.
All right. All right. So that's good. So if anybody wants their stuff done, you'll do the install. If they like to do it themselves, you sell them
Yep.
the print, ship it to them, and yeah, that's what's up. So
Yes.
inspiration. So when someone comes in and says, "I don't know, I just want it to look nice. I don't know. I can't make a decision." How do you get there now?
I go into I ask them a whole bunch of questions. I ask
Okay.
them, who do you live with? How many kids do you have? What do you do for work? Seriously, do you have Instagram? I go into the Instagram to the first picture they ever posted, and then I work my way all the way up to try to get to know these people. And I'm like, oh, you a nurse, huh? So I'm gonna take the Riker and take the Y out and put a little nurse sign. I bet you they'll like that. I throw it on there, and they're like, oh my
That
god,
is
how did you know
very
I'm a nurse?
That's very, very creative and very, very innovative. I really like how you come up with the ideas.
Hmm.
That is a very, very unique and creative way to get into people's heads who are very undecisive. That's a good business plan.
Yeah, I think I know every customer by name, and I know a little bit about every customer. I built some bonds actually with some people, just knowing their story and asking them questions is like when they come and see their bikes and they're crying, it just like hits hard. And I'm like, damn. Like some days when I don't want to do this, I'm like, this is I'm not a sit down on the computer person. I'm like a hands on. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of boring. But then I see that reaction and I'm just like, oh, I'm ready for my next one. Who's next? Who's next?
The creative bug. No, I feel the same way. Like I'd have to do more of this than I actually ride. So it's like I spend so much time not riding, but doing, and now
Yeah.
it turned into fixing other people's bikes. And
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
it's one of
but
those
when you
things
get the
where,
chance to actually, you actually don't get a chance to actually go and ride. But
no,
when you do have a little bit of time, it's almost like, what do you do with it? You can't just like go ride because it's like you got a list of other things to do. You spend so much time on everybody else's bike that you look at yours and you kind of put it on the back burner and you're just like, damn, my baby go over there collecting dust.
yeah, I
I gotta
neglect,
get my
my
customers
bike gets
right.
neglected sometimes, and I'm like, man, but then I do this, and then I'll get a nice email, and somebody be like, oh, you had this person on the show, and they inspired me to just go out there, ride. I was so scared, but when I heard that person, and it's just like, and then I just keep doing it. I don't know. To me, this is not work. And like you said, along this journey, I met some really, really nice people from all over this country, right? I've talked to people in Europe. I've talked to people in Germany. I even talked to someone in Japan, but we just couldn't do the language thing. It didn't work out. Like, but it's just one of those things where it's like, you know what? I like it. Everybody's like, they just so nice. Like everybody's been mad cool in the culture, and
Yeah.
and it's just like the journey has just been crazy. So it's like one of those things, like it's not really work for me. Well, I don't work, so this is like my job now, YouTube. So when people ask me, what do you do for a living? I say YouTube. And they go, "Oh, really?" Like, I was in, I went to go get a pair of sneakers, and a young kid was at the cashier, and he was like, "Oh, you want to sign up for the thing?" So I was like, "Yeah." I said, "All right, I'll sign up." And he goes, "What's your name?" I said, "Keith Hammer." He said, "Oh shit, man, that's a cool ass name." I said, "Oh, that's my YouTube name." He said, "Oh, you a YouTuber? I never met a YouTuber before." And I was
Oh,
like,
that's cool.
I was like, I'm really not that big, but hey, he said, let me get your channel, man. I'm gonna follow you. I was like,
You may be mistaken. You are a lot bigger than what you assume, especially that you're like, I'm famous, but not here, somewhere else. There's different
yeah,
kinds of famous, and you literally are famous
thank
here.
you. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I appreciate it. I try,
When you have a large community of people, whether it be 3 people to 10 people, and they're all speaking highly of one person in particular, to me, that is famous, and that's famous for a good reason. You
yeah,
rather be talked about as being that good person, or you don't want to have a messed up reputation. So your reputation is famous. So that's to
I
me, that's
try.
dope.
I try. It's humbling. I try. And you know what? I like to help because at this point in my life, it's like, I don't need to keep anything to myself at this point. So if I could help somebody be like successful or get to the next level, like, I build more relationships than anything. Like I've been with RLS Exhaust. Shout out to my guy over there since the beginning, right? So he's reached out to me, said, "Hey man, look, this is what I'm doing, blah blah blah. I want to work with you." And I was like, "Come on, let's work together, whatever." And we have a very good working relationship. I've done videos for him. I've helped him out. He's helped me out. And when I told him, I said, "Hey man, you know what? I'm going to Milan and I'm going to this motorcycle trade show. You want to give me a bunch of your business cards? I'll just hand them out, man. Who knows? Maybe you could get a contract in Germany." He was like, "For real? I'm putting them in the mail tomorrow." So I was like, "All right." So he
You
sent them out to
see,
me. So I was like, you
that's
know what? If the guy gets famous or whether he does or don't, I think he's good in his own way. But I say, you know what? Why not? Him making $1 billion don't really affect what I do here on YouTube. So I'm kind of in the space where it's just like, if I can help somebody grow, it just makes me feel good. Like I don't
yeah.
really have to, like, you come to me for help, and people have like, I want to start a YouTube channel, and or I want to do this, and you come to me, I say I help you. It's to me, it's
Meeting you, and the first thing you said to me is like what, like hold on, like, and I'm thinking to myself like, wait a minute, I didn't even think like some of the things that when you were like, you need to build and the advice that you gave me just meeting me is almost just like, what you trying to do? Because it's like there's not people like that. Like there's a lot of like
that's
people just like,
true, and
I'm not telling you, I'm gatekeeping because I don't want you to be up there. But when you
yes,
came to me and you're like, listen, I'm actually gonna help you get up there. I'm like, why?
yeah. See, you know what, and I'm trying to break that narrative that people
Super
think that,
humble. Like,
if he's coming at me, he's got an angle, and then you got people who
yeah,
feed
what's your
into that,
intentions? But
right?
when I
And
start hearing like the positivity of everyone and everybody's just like, this guy is great. And I'm just like, wow, this guy's really sincere and genuine. Like,
yeah,
why? Like,
be,
that's amazing.
be,
There's nobody like that anymore.
my attitude is I'm in a good space, and I'm totally like, I'm one of those believers of good energy, and I'm talking from self. Like, I understand what it is to, grow up poor, not have to work to get where you got to get to. I wasn't born rich. I grew up in the projects in Brooklyn. I got the story like everybody else. I'm 50 years old. I grew up in the crack era. So you understand the things I've seen, and I understand what negativity is, and I've seen that life and what it does for you, and you can't escape that unless you free your mind, right? So my
Right.
thing was, someone told me a long time ago, if you free yourself from the prison of ignorance,
Hmm.
you will be more successful in life. And even at every job I went to where, coworkers, I don't do that. Just do this. You'll be all right. Don't do
Yeah.
that. And I always said, and someone told me even then, said, the last thing you want to do is listen to a coworker. Do what you got to do. Do what
Hmm.
you have to do. Do what you in your mind, as long as it's positive and as long as it's going to get you to the next level that you want to achieve. There are some people who just want to slack and get by. That's fine. And there's some people who want to, that come in and say, "No, I'm gonna run this place in 5 years," right? So
Yes.
that's just how you get to. And how to get there is, the worst thing you could tell someone is, "Oh, you lucky." I don't believe
Yeah.
you're lucky. I think that's insulting. I think you should say, Yeah, man, you work hard to get where you're at. Because when
Yeah,
somebody
don't.
comes up to me and says, "Oh man, you're a brand ambassador. You're lucky. You're a brand ambassador. Can-Am did this." I said,
It's
"Yeah, all
offensive because they don't understand the levels, the
right."
ladder,
And I say
the
lucky,
work.
but what about the 300 videos I dropped or the
Yeah,
podcast or this, that, and the third? I say it's
absolutely.
not luck, it's hard work. Like no one looks at you. No one's gonna knock on your door with a check because you're lucky, right? Somebody's gonna come to you because you put in work, right? It's consistency, work, consistency, and when you're out there, you get noticed, right? So how do you become successful? You got to be out there. So I'm a true believer in that. And despite what other people might think, you'll find your sprinkles of hate,
Yeah,
sprinkled
absolutely.
around. Hurt
Mhm.
people hurt people. I'm not
Mhm.
in that game. I have nothing to gain or to lose helping somebody. I have zero, right? I have
I
zero.
really like your logic. I feel like we think alike. Like I feel like I'm that person. I'm very generous, you know. Um, and I do, despite of my upbringing, which was awful. I feel like you have to be the change that you want. So if I treat people how I was treated, that's not, I do it for, I get happy or I get off or satisfied by making someone else feel good or just, it makes me feel good. So I kind
Absolutely.
of get where you're going from. I just didn't think, people there's still people out there like that. But I'm really
It's hard.
curious to know, like, what was your experience that changed you growing up in that era? And then you said, hold up, I don't want to be treated like, how I grew up. Or what made you change? What made you say, I'm going to be a different person?
Uh, okay, so you're familiar with Brooklyn. I grew up in the projects,
Hmm.
right? And I don't go into too much personal detail, but it was bad. I grew up in a bad area, bad people, some good people. And before I graduated high school, I carried three caskets of friends of mine, right?
Hmm.
And I saw what crack did to families, and I saw how my family worked hard to get out of that situation. Like they couldn't, like you hear the stories, and we had to just get up out of here. It's horrible,
Hmm.
and they bust their ass to do what they got to do. And then when I was outside of that, and then I'm looking now on the outside instead of being in it, because when you're in it, you're a part of it, right? I don't care what anybody says, but I didn't want to be a part of it, but I was a part of it. Everybody I hung with was this, everybody I knew was that. So you're in it. You
Hmm.
might not want to get involved, but you're in it some way, shape, or form. So when we got
Yeah.
out and I was able to look back from the outside in, I said, wow, like then you start to see and then you start to hear stories and you meet people who are outside of that and you start to hear people's struggles and real stories of how they changed their lives and this and that. And you just start going, it just frees your mind from that. You don't have to be like that. Like
Yeah.
you could actually be something. Like you can
Hmm.
actually, stop complaining, right? Because I
Yeah.
tell my kids all the time, right? I got three boys, and when I tell them to do something, I say, "Listen, my man, the easiest, the
My
easy,
man.
the easiest thing you can make in this world is an excuse.
Wow.
That's the easiest thing you can make. So if you're gonna just sit
Absolutely.
there and
Facts.
automatically say, I'm making an excuse not to do it. That's easy. You know what
Hmm.
the hardest thing to do is execute a plan, right?
Hmm.
Execute a plan, right? So when I started this and throughout my whole career of working jobs, I even when I started this, I executed a plan. I said, "Man, everybody liked this crappy ass video I made on YouTube." And I went to my teenage sons and they said, "Oh my god, dad, are you kidding me? You got to do this and this." And I was like, "For real?" They was like, "Yeah, just change it up. Do this, make a thumbnail, make what's your SEOs?" And I was like, "What is this shit? I didn't I'm coming off of MySpace, like I didn't know what this shit was.
Right. Like, what?
Yeah, I was like, what? So they were
That's
like,
but
no,
you
this is what you do. And then my kids critique my videos and they'd be like, don't do that. Don't put you look crazy.
ruthless. Kids are,
Ruth.
oh my.
But because I freed my mind of the ignorance that my kids don't know what they're talking about. They actually do know what they're talking about because this is
Hmm.
their space, right?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'll take advice from a 13 and a 16-year-old. Why not? Right?
Hmm.
Do this, do that, do this. And then I could see the progression. Like I have the least amount of YouTube followers. I probably out of the whole game, right? but I think I'm pretty one of the most successful out of that. I think, I mean,
Doesn't add up. Like
it
that's what I'm
doesn't.
telling
But
you. Like
this is
it's
why I
different
say,
kind of.
and this is why I say, I believe in energy because
Oh, I do
you could
too.
just because I don't have that many followers doesn't mean I'm not genuine, and I'm not
That's
no
exactly why I
slight.
told you. Then you are. You keep saying you're famous somewhere
Right,
else. Just because your followers are not a million does not
right.
mean you're not out there. Cause you out there.
And no slight to any of my fellow YouTubers. I love them. We actually talk. You'd be surprised. Some of the big YouTubers that are doing the Riker stuff, we chat.
Mhm.
We'll send a text message once in a blue. So love. And it just I just believe it, and I'm a I'm a part of it. So it's like, yeah, if you actually do good things happen to you. And
Yep.
it's like I stick with it, and I like to help people. Like I'm in a space now where I can help people. I don't have to hurt anybody. I don't have to. I could just sit back and be like, hey, you know what? This person's a winner, and why not let them get there so I could look and say, hey, that's good. You're muted. All right. We'll take a short pause while Sticky does her earpieces. And I would just want to give everybody who's just listening to anybody who's just listening to the podcast right now. I'm going to tell you that you can go, and I just put up some Instagram pictures, and hold on.
Are we
You
back?
have I'm getting feedback from you, Sticky.
Still?
I can hear you, but I'm getting feedback. So do you have the volume up on your computer too high? Because I'm getting a feedback from you.
How we doing now?
Your audio is really low.
Give me 1 second. My AirPods died.
All right. Now I'm picking it up.
Oh, we're good?
Yeah, we're good now.
Oh, say less. Okay.
So like I was telling people while we had a quick short pause, I just put up some videos for those who are listening that can't see. So if you're listening to this podcast later, if you want to check out Sicky's designs, it's I put them up on the screen. So she does some glow in the dark. She just did a rent me wrap for my friend Chris, and I was looking at some of her designs. Amazing, amazing concepts, amazing personality. She is going to be a force in this rap game. I'm telling you, you got to check out her designs. Uh, I know she'll have a web page coming soon because we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about how you can get her designs, not just by DMing her on Instagram. We're going to get it set up so where you could professionally go order with your credit card, get it shipped. We're gonna
Yeah.
do all that. We're gonna talk all that behind the scenes. We're gonna get her on her way. All right, people. So if you got your Riker, Spider, Slingshot, right? We're gonna do slingshots now. Are
Side
we
by
gonna
side.
mess around with the Vanderhall? Any
Yeah.
other bike? All right. Okay. So check this out. So if you got a three wheel and you got a concept and a design, you're gonna hit my girl up, Sticky Situations at sticky.situations on Instagram. You can find her. Uh, just tell me any other ways they could contact you. So for business.
It's just that, or my other page, which is sticky underscore prints with a Z. I also have an email, stickyprints1986 at gmail.com. That's pretty much it at this point. I mean, I look forward to expanding that, but in the meantime,
So in the meantime, that's how you contact Sticky for your raps. I'll have all her information below, so you could just click on the links and it'll take you right to her Instagram page. And if you got to email her, contact her, the design, she'll work it out with you. So, hey, Sticky, it was a wonderful for you to be on the show. Appreciate that.
I look forward to just building some kind of.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna make you famous. Listen, everybody, you should know me. If you don't know me already, I'm Keith, host of the podcast Rolling on Three Wheels. You could contact me at on email, rolling on three wheels at Gmail. That's the number three. You can find me on every single social media platform, whether it be Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, Instagram. It's rolling on three wheels. All right, just type in rolling on three wheels. Spell it out. Rolling with a G on three wheels. And you put me in the Google search. I'll pop up. I'll find you. On Instagram, I'm the Shadow Black Ryker. Yes, I'm the Shadow Black Ryker on Instagram because my bike has its own Instagram page. It's not my page. It's Shadow Black Ryker's page. Okay, so everywhere else you can contact me on Rolling on Three. Thank you for being on the podcast. This is actually the first episode of season 6. So please, if you want to be on the show, email me. Thank you once again, Sticky. I appreciate it. And to all my peoples out there, ride safe.